I'm Nissa Finney and I'm based in CCSR and Social Statistics in Social Sciences here at Manchester, and I'm also a member of the Centre on Dynamics of Ethnicity, CODE. And CODE's work and my work is interested in ethnic inequalities and how this has changed over time. In 2011, 1 in every 8 households in England and Wales, where there was more than one person in the household, was made up of people from more than one ethnic group. So that might be a white British person living with an Asian person, or a house with a white, Chinese and black person. And we know this from 2011 census data that's been released since December 2012. And this figure, that in every 8 households there will be one where there are people from more than one ethnic group, is a really remarkable indicator of the country's diversity in terms of race, ethnicity, culture. And this diversity in partnerships, in households, in neighbourhoods, in cities is increasing. So in 2001, 13% of the population considered themselves to be in an ethnic group that wasn't white British. By 2011, that figure was 20%. And that 20% of people who consider themselves to not be white British is made up of many, many ethnic groups, including the mixed ethnic group. And the mixed ethnic group represents people who have more than one ethnic heritage. And by 2011, the population of mixed ethnicity was more than 1 million people. So Britain's cities are more ethnically diverse than they have ever been before. And there are several cities, including Luton, Leicester and Slough, outside London, where no one ethnic group is in the majority. So we can think about these as plural cities. And cities that have been labelled as segregated, such as Leicester, such as Bradford, are in fact the most diverse. And the ethnic group populations within these cities and across the country are spreading out. So there's ethnic mixing residentially. So the ethnic mixing that we see alongside the increased diversity is happening in partnerships, in households, in neighbourhoods and in cities. And we've been looking at this in CODE and producing briefings based on the latest census data. And these briefings are available at ethnicity.ac.uk. But you might say, so what? So what about this increasing ethnic diversity? Well, there are a number of topics of research that I and colleagues in CODE are looking at that are broadly to do with how ethnic populations are changing, how ethnic identities are changing, how the geographies of ethnicity are changing, and how ethnic inequalities are changing. So in terms of identity, this is partly to do with how ethnic groups are measured, how ethnicity is measured, including how ethnic groups are categorised and how the data are collected. So ethnic group has been measured in the last 3 censuses, in 1991, 2001 and 2011. But each time the question about ethnic group has been slightly different. And this is because of social changes in ethnic identification and changes in the prioritisation or the predominance of different ethnic groups. In terms of ethnic geographies, we're interested in how the patterns of where ethnic groups live is changing and the processes that are driving those changes in terms of migration, both within the UK and to and from it, and processes of partnership, family formation and fertility, and health, ageing and mortality. In terms of ethnic inequalities, one aspect of that work that I'm interested in is residential mobility, and how there are ethnic inequalities in residential mobility. This is particularly marked for young adults of different ethnic groups, and I'm interested in whether and how ethnic identity influences people's decisions to move house. So one example might be to do with university. and moving house for university, and whether the higher proportions of people from some minority groups who live at home have made this decision somehow as a result of their ethnic identity, and what implications this might have for their lives at the time and later on. So in sum, my work and the work of Code is interested in increasing ethnic diversity in Britain's cities, and ethnic identities, ethnic geographies and ethnic inequalities, how these have and are changing, and what this means for contemporary cities.